All right, let me send a link to the new one here. Holy shit, this is terrible. Let's see. All right, let me send a link to the new one here. Holy shit, this is terrible. All right, I see some of you are popping in. A little software glitch, not good. I'll just put up a new chat here. Looks like you guys are figuring it out. That's great. I don't know if it's running on Rumble, but we'll figure it out. Hello, Bishop. There we go. Put the new chat out here. I have no idea what's going on Rumble. We'll figure it out. Not good at all. We'll have to change this to part 2. Are you? It's a different channel, right? Or I'll have to edit this. It'll go part 2 here. And we'll edit the thumbnail if there is one. Let's see what's going on there. Were you guys, out of curiosity? Oh, I didn't do this. That's stupid. Copy. We'll paste this in here. Rumble's still going? Okay, cool. I basically had to restart the whole thing. This was not a good thing. Give me a second, guys. Okay. And we'll do that. What the hell's going on here? Okay. We'll save that. Okay. Anyway. Thanks for your patience during the technical difficulty there. So there's a weird thing going on in a couple states, for those of you who are still here. 14 more people ahead of me at the blood lab. Okay. Weird thing happened in a couple states. They've been getting these, I guess they're calling them suspicious letters, right? And, oh shoot. Let me find it again. There, nope, not that one. There we go. They've been getting these suspicious letters. At least 2 GOP legislators in Montana have reported receiving suspicious letters containing white powder. That's a favorite one. Following similar reports from both Kansas and Tennessee, Governor Greg Gianforte said on Friday. Now, guess who's been sending them? What they think. Montana House leadership confirmed that 2 Republicans, Representative Rhonda Knudsen and Neil Durham, received letters at their homes. Both letters had local return addresses, but had post office markings from Kansas City. Some Republicans in Kansas and Tennessee have speculated the letters could be a result of radical trans activism and attempted intimidation of lawmakers. Well, hello, Chauncey Stewart. And a bunch of people who weren't in the other stream are here. Bishop, what's up? Chauncey Stewart, Fox P2. Either you were there or I just didn't see you, but I'm glad you're here. So the letters mailed to Speaker Pro Temp Rhonda Knudsen and Representative Neil Durham containing an unknown substance are the continuation of the threats and hate directed at legislators during the session. Montana Speaker of the House Matt Regier said in a statement, "Just as we stood firm during the House session, we will not be threatened or distracted now. We are in tumultuous times, and House leadership will continue our objective to protect Montanans' freedom and safety no matter what cowardly threats are directed at us." Both of the representatives who received letters were unharmed. The Montana Senate GOP said Friday, and the authorities plan to test the substance. Governor Greg Gianforte tweeted on Friday that he had received disturbing reports regarding the letters and said his office and state will provide any resources necessary to aid the investigation. It's not clear yet what the letters said, but they were reported as vague and threatening, according to NBC Montana. So, that just means shitheads on both sides will do shitty tactics to try to scare lawmakers into doing what they want. That's not a good thing. Don't do that shit. I don't care which side you're on. Let's see. I'm not going to get through this whole thing today. Jordan Peterson still facing a legal battle and remedial training to retain his license. So apparently, the state of Canada, sorry, Canadians, that's just me being funny. The state of Canada is having a fight with Jordan Peterson. The College of Psychologists of Ontario, which has ordered him to undergo a social media re-education and keep his license, took center stage in an Ontario courtroom on Wednesday. The issue is a January letter Peterson received from the Ontario College of Psychologists demanding he go a remedial re-education for his controversial Twitter commentary or lose his license as a psychologist. Now, I don't know, is he a practicing psychologist? I think he still is. I think he still has patients. The Canadian Constitution Foundation appeared in court on Wednesday to support Peterson in his legal battle against the regulatory college. The foundation on Wednesday argued that professional regulators may not regulate off-duty conduct unless they can establish a clear nexus between that specific conduct and the legitimate interests of the profession. And where off-duty conduct engages a charter right like freedom of expression, regulators have a heightened duty to ensure they are given full effect in the charter protection according to a June 21st news release. So that's good. That's good. Yeah, there's they want a struggle session, right? They put him in a re-education camp, right? There's nothing weird about that. Nothing, nothing to be concerned about. They're asking him to be in a did I almost say concentration camp? Excuse me, I meant re-education camp. Yes, that was a Freudian slip because it's psychology. Anyway, they want to re-educate him. They want not to let him educate himself like a lot of leftists like to say. Why don't you educate yourself? They want to re-educate him to be in line with their line of thought and personal politics. Okay, moving on. NBC. Oh, geez. In the world of entertainment, this is not entertaining. Ex-NBC and CNN executive Michael Bass accused of sexually assaulting an intern. Oh man, that is. Where's the sound for that? That would be this one. We don't want that happening. Arathi Rajamaraman, the accuser, filed a lawsuit against NBC, Universal Media, and Bass in New York on Friday. 20 years old at the time, Rajamaraman asserts that the assault triggered a downward spiral of excessive drinking and eating. Okay, so she's blaming him for her drinking and eating disorders. But does it surprise you? Does it surprise you that a media mogul, a media executive would have issues with the sexual assault and whatever? I just think of what's the dude, the ugly dude, not Weissman. Harvey Weinstein. I think of him and I think, wow, this is another Harvey Weinstein situation. But this guy looks, I don't know. Who this guy reminds me of? He reminds me of the Breaking Bad guy, Anyway. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Chauncey Stewart. I think I just said that earlier. And Don Julio, Gulf City Biker and Trash Man. Good morning, P-Dog and chat. Started from the beginning. One of those letters with powder were sent to one rep that lives 5 or 6 houses down from me. Oh, that's awful, man. Don't do the terrorist shit, you fuckers. All right. Where are we at? Okay, let's move on. Running out of time. We'll get a few more of these in, and then I'll just leave you the list myself. Let's see. I will skip Bill Maher. Bill Maher is complaining about how the New York Times biased RFK coverage. Look, yes, Walter White. He kind of looks like, oh, he looks like Jim Cornette too. Yeah, he does look like Jim Cornette. Bill Maher slams New York Times over biased RFK coverage. Okay. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I always thought of him as a bit of a whack job. But on certain topics, he is 1,000% correct, right? Like when he talks about freedom of speech, okay, he believes in it. He actually believes in it, right? He believes in things that are in the Constitution. I haven't heard anything on the Second Amendment or whatever, but I think he's and especially the three-letter agencies that investigate things. He's no friend of them because we pretty much know those three-letter agencies had something to do with two important prior family members' demises, and that's all. I'll leave it like that. We're not going to go Clint aside, but so I there are certain things I can. There's certain things I can agree with him on, and especially on this latest of the jabs. Now, I'm not so confident all of his whole anti-vaccine thing is cool because I'm there are certain I have issues with certain parts of it, but certainly this last one, this Pfizer promoted products and Johnson & Johnson and whatever, the Moderna, their products, I'm a little skeptical about them, but because he's making a run at Biden and has actually a lot of support, the mainstream media, the Mockingbird media, the media that gets its talking points directly from the White House, ain't having it. So I can understand why Bill Maher, but you can watch his monologue on that. Let's see. Here's a silly Biden appointment that's coming up, and he's had several. So no aspect of the vaunted energy transition screams out the word fantasy quite so starkly as projections that the U.S. will have to install 47,000 miles of new high-capacity transmission lines by 2035. That's the assessment, not by renewable energy skeptics, but by the enthusiastic promoters of renewables at the U.S. Department of Energy. As part of that assessment published in early March, the DOE, Department of Energy, stated that much new transmission will be required, assuming moderate load and massive expansion of green energy in line with the future power sector enabled all by currently enacted laws. In other words, this new capacity that will be required to account for demand and growth caused by plans by the Biden administration and liberal state governments to electrify all new buildings, eliminate gas stoves and furnaces, and convert coal and natural gas plants into wind and solar to put millions of new electric vehicles on the road, which must be charged regularly. The challenges faced by developers of single new transmission line designed to move electricity generated by Wyoming wind projects 732 miles west to demand markets in California to help illustrate how ridiculous this 47,000-mile ambition really is. So here's what they're trying to do. They're saying that they're going to build these huge wind farms in Wyoming. Remember, okay, I was on the air when this happened. So Biden was talking, made some speech recently, right? The speech where he said the thing about they're going to build a train from the Pacific across the Indian Ocean. Now we know, okay, so when he said that, obviously I don't believe Biden thought that they were going to build a railroad across the Indian Ocean. I think he was trying to say from the Pacific to the Indian Ocean through, parts of Southeast Asia, right? But he said across the Indian Ocean. But that's not what he really meant. But he said something in that speech about how we were going to build this railroad and how we were going to build the largest solar power facility in the world in Angola. To which my main question is, first, wait a minute, who's we? Who's we that's going to build these things? But then they're also talking about proposing these giant windmill farms in Wyoming to generate electricity for California. Yes, solar plant or wind power plants and windmills and whatnot in Wyoming for California. So they're going to have to do, hundreds of miles, thousands of miles of high capacity. What do they call it? What is it says right here? High capacity transmission lines. Well, first of all, hello, Nomad.
Stop. Hammer time.
So you're going to take up, first of all, because these windmills are not the most efficient things in the world, right? And you have to have thousands of these windmills, right? To have enough power to run Los Angeles or San Francisco or any big city in California. Okay, you'd have to have thousands of windmills, and you're going to have to put it on thousands of acres of land. Now, granted, you have the national parks and shit out there, but they of course those are off limits, so they'll put them in somebody's backyard, right? And they'll take up somebody's farmland, right? And they'll take somebody's ranch land, right? And then have thousands of miles of transmission lines to go make it work. I don't think that's going to work. But here it is, the Trans-West Transmission Project made a major priority by the Biden administration, finally kicked off construction this past week, but only after a struggle to obtain rights of way funding and the necessary local, state, and federal permits consumed 18 long years. And that number is not a typo. And get this, it's not going to take an additional 4 years until 2027 to build just the first phase of the multi-phase system and place it into service. According to Deb Haaland, the Biden's very green Secretary of the Interior, the kickoff of construction of the Trans-West project represents a momentous milestone in the administration's plan to redo the nation's entire energy sector. Now, what you didn't say was how exactly they're going to get the remaining 46,268 new miles of high-capacity transmission permitted over the next year. So they got to get permits and go through all these. It's not just, where is Wyoming? Wyoming's, are there states between Wyoming and California? Because they got to have right-of-way for all the lines and stuff, too. These people are nuts. Holy shit. I don't know. You can read the rest of this, but it just sounds stupid. It just sounds stupid to me. Oh my goodness. All right. I am close. Let's see. We'll skip some of these. There's a article on the Daniel Penny effect, seen in New York City subway attacks, including at least one where no one intervened. So now no one's intervening on any of these attacks. They don't want to get in trouble like Daniel Penny. Now, granted, Daniel Penny mistakenly killed a man. People are just not. People are not intervening in these situations anymore. There's some articles on COVID, how the the intelligence community gave false statements about COVID. Anybody shocked? Shocked, right? And also there's now that the Intel report says I'll put these on the screen. The lab leak is now considered a possibility by every U.S. intelligence agency. Aww. It's about time. It's a possibility. Oh, isn't that special? Yes. So now there's an article about that. It's the 1 year anniversary of Roe versus Wade decision. So there's a couple articles on this. This one's the interesting one though, because ProPublica has been doing this little crusade on on the conservative judges claiming they're like, the fact that Clarence Thomas vacations with his college friend on his college friend's boat on his college friend's island, that the people that ProPublica thinks that he should pay for that. He shouldn't be able to just stay with a friend and go on vacation with a friend. You're not allowed to have friends if you're a Supreme Court justice, right? So ProPublica is going on this crusade against, especially the conservative justice. And honestly, the real reason they're doing it is the overturning of Roe versus Wade. ProPublica launched a partisan investigation, this time targeting another conservative U.S. Supreme Court member. As if on cue, mainstream media outlets jumped on the bandwagon, relishing in the prospect of free content for their publications, content that undermines conservative jurists and the conservative lawmakers by association. This is purely political payback for the Dobbs decision in 2022. So that's pretty much the answer. They're going after the conservative court members because of Dobbs, which is the overturning of Roe versus Wade. The article in the links, by the way, if you didn't know that already, I put links to everything that we do and even more in a single link at the end of the show. I'll drop in the chat during the outro and put it in the description if you're not here that long. And I also drop it on the Discord server on the show replay links. So apparently a court has blocked a federal civil rights agency from suing a Christian-owned business over LGBT firings. Now this is interesting because they made the one dude bake the cake, but being forced to employ someone to represent the company who believes in a manner directly violative of the company's conviction is a substantial burden, the three-judge panel of Republican appointees found. They were all Republican appointees. So here's what happened. The federal court has barred the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission from suing a Christian business owner who vowed to fire individuals who engage in behavior he considers sexually immoral or gender conforming or non-conforming. The business owner, Steve Hotz, operates his subsidiary corporation as Christian businesses, despite none of the corporations having an expressly religious mandate. His for-profit business, Braidwood Management, sought an exemption from Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which bars discrimination in employment on basis of sex. As interpreted by the Supreme Court in 2020, employment discrimination on the basis of sex includes firing an individual merely for being gay or transgender. The business owner persuaded the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit that the Religious Freedom Restoration Act compelled the EEOC to grant him an exemption from Title VII. Interesting. So this is an interesting battle, and this panel agreed with that. I don't think this is going to, if this is going to go to higher courts. What kind of a prediction should I make here? I shouldn't make any prediction because I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think this is going to stand. I don't think this will. That maybe not. I don't think so. Do I think it should? I think you should have freedom of association. You shouldn't have to hire anybody you shouldn't want to fire or didn't want to hire. Now, the backlash from the publicity for you not hiring somebody because of a certain trade or religion or whatever could be challenging for you. But, it's the explicit part of the Constitution that says freedom of association. Well, isn't employing somebody association? I don't know. That's a good question. We'll see how the courts decide that one later. America's first trans lawmaker arrested over child sex abuse. Anybody shocked? Not me. Stacey Marie Lawton, who became America's first transgender lawmaker when he was elected to New Hampshire's House of Representatives in 2012, has been arrested on 4 felony counts of distributing child sex abuse imagery. Okay, the short article, you can read that one on your own, but yeah, great. I'm not. this is an article just how Democrats and the media are going after third-party election threats, because really third-party candidates I think would only hurt Joe Biden mostly. I would think. Anybody? Bueller? Let's see. Also, illegal insurrection. Okay. So over the last 4 days, I guess, this Wagner group has kind of revolted in Russia, and apparently Prigozhin is leaving for Belarus under an amnesty deal. I mean, because that thing stopped, and I don't know what to do about that. Russian President Vladimir Putin, as the inner circle, can breathe a sigh of relief as the armed rebellion by the mercenary Wagner group fizzles out after advancing as close to 100 miles from Moscow. The head of the Wagner private army, Yevgeny Prigozhin, I'm guessing, or Prigozhin, has called off his march to Moscow after reaching a deal with the Kremlin, which provides amnesty to him and his men. So they gave him amnesty because Putin was calling them traitors at one point. And that's not really Russian style to let traitors go, is it? I don't think so. Anyway, I guess he's going to be able to flee to Belarus under an amnesty deal. I guess we'll see what happens. I comment more, but I have no idea what I'm talking about because I wasn't paying attention to it enough this weekend. All right, I got to close it out. Here's what's left in the bin. Apparently the U.S. knew of the impending Wagner rebellion weeks ago. U.S. intelligence knew something ahead in advance and didn't do anything about it? Oh, what a shocker. I'm sorry. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show.
That's right.
Who says, after dropping a deuce in the tip jar, is it too soon to make fun of leftist CEO who added to the Titanic body count by building a submarine out of aircraft material? That's right.
That's right.
Diversity, inclusion, equity, die, now has a body count. That's right. Yes,
That's
it
right.
does. That was the other thing I saw over the weekend, how apparently that CEO is saying something about, I want to get experienced submarine pilots, but, they're a bunch of old 50-year-old white guys. And I want to get some people in here that can, be more inspiring to young people. And I'm like, dude, you're going into the ocean very deep where pressures will crush you like they did. And you probably should have had some 50-year-old white guy experienced submarine pilot to tell you that making your stupid little submarine out of carbon fiber was not a good idea. In fact, I had a video. I don't know what I do with it. There's a video of how pressure works, and you take a water bottle, right? And you go down and dive deep, and the deeper you dive, that little plastic water bottle just crushes itself, and you'd be inside of it dead like you are now. Anyway, trust the science, though. Please trust the science. All right, finally. So anyway, everyone they knew about this Wagner rebellion weeks ago, and whatever. Here's one. The Pentagon. Here's a Pentagon nominees blocked by the GOP senators are pushing left-wing initiatives to reshape the military. Quote, I hire for diversity. Several military officers whose promotions are held up due to a senator's fight with the Pentagon have supported left-wing cultural stances and diversity initiatives, according to the Daily Caller News Foundation review of social media posts, Pentagon materials, and public footage. Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville has single-handedly blocked numerous officers' confirmations in protest of Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin's directive that the military fund out-of-state travel for female troops seeking abortions, initiating a game of chicken between Tuberville and the Pentagon that shows no sign of stopping, and yet several of the candidates in line for promotion have a history of making political statements and backed or spearheaded internal diversity, equity, and inclusion, DIE, as opposed to DEI, initiatives related to race and sexuality, according to the Daily Caller. So anyway, some of these nominees are about, look, in the military, let me just say something about the military, okay? The military tends to be the most, I wouldn't say equal, but it's certainly the most egalitarian profession probably in the world, right? It should be, at least, because for years and years and years, the military has put people of all walks of life, all races and all creeds and whatever, put them right next together, and they can all get their heads shot off together. So they learn how to obey orders. When someone says duck, you duck so you don't get shot, and you do this and you do that, right? And so everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's trained the same. Everyone's got to, goes through the terrible hell week or hell month of training, whatever. They do it all the same. And so it doesn't really matter if you you don't need to go out and seek, people who are trans and whatever that to be in the military. People who volunteer usually either are there because they want some college money and they feel coerced to do it, or because they have nothing else to do, or some are just gung-ho people. But the idea that you hire for diversity, what are you talking about? Just don't do that. Just the military is naturally diverse because there's a lot of brothers who go in the military because they get their shit together there and they come out squared away somehow. So anyway, I don't want to hear a Pentagon official saying, well, we do this for diversity. I don't care about your diversity. Don't care. I just want you to be able to shoot and kill people when you need to and break things. That's what the military is for. I don't need you to be it's not like you're, hiring for Target where you want to make sure that you get a black trans woman, furry person because you don't have enough of those working in your workforce. Not in the military. I just want people to be able to shoot people and break things. And so please stop. Please stop. All right, moving on. Postmodern medicine. Oh yeah. Disturbing look at the queering of medicine. I don't have time for this, but it's a good article. Maybe we'll get back to it tomorrow a little bit. Let's see. That's that one. It'll be in the links though. And then, oh gosh, it's one of the suicide commercials from Canada. You've probably seen them. It'll be in the links. And children marked. There was people chanting, "We're coming for your children." There's a video in this link too. It's great. It's exactly what we want happening. Local Wisconsin supervisor calls for police investigation after child participates in Madison's adult naked bike ride. They have an annual naked bike ride, and apparently a child was participating, and so now they're looking for people to investigate that. And finally, last but not least, apparently the trans banned lesbians from a pride march because transphobia. And this is from Redux. A female-only lesbian advocacy group in France was excluded from their local pride parade on the basis that they did not allow the membership of trans-identified males. Femmes entre elles was labeled transphobic for restricting its advocacy to issues faced by women. The group, which translates to Women Among Themselves, is a single-sex association for lesbian and sexual or bisexual women that has operated for over 30 years. It has been involved in campaigns to support women's sex-based rights and the rights of lesbian women. But on May 27th, the group was informed via email that they were not welcome to participate in the annual Pride March in Reims, which was held on June 17th. The leading local LGBT center, ISKIS, explained that decision was made because the Femmes Entre Elles did not welcome the membership of men claiming to be women. In other words, they did not allow trans people in their group, and so they got kicked out of the Pride Parade. I'm going to let them over there just fight amongst themselves, and we'll be done with it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to go. It's great to be back. I'm a little melancholy because I was gone for so long, and I'm a little Well, I got to be a little bit quieter because I don't want to wake my mother's in town and she's going to be here for a couple of weeks and I don't want to wake her up, so I'm not as loud. But I do want to thank you for coming back. It's been so long. Thank you, all the great sponsors today. That was fantastic, including Gunfox and Jabari from last couple of weeks. Tyre Alexander, Jimmy Das Hotep, BBC Rentals, FTG Farms, which. And Wesley Snipes. I have no idea who Wesley Snipes is, and Black Hebrew Israelite. But all of you, thank you for sponsoring the show. I do need your help in the next few weeks as we get towards that date of me going under the knife. So I appreciate everyone who sponsors the show. It's great, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you. That's it. I'll end the show on this one because the other one ended by itself. So, gotta go. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I am out of here. Links will be in the chat in a second. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P-Dog Knight, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Knight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.